What's going on, everybody? This is Clint with the Die Hard MMA podcast. This podcast was filmed exclusively for odds.com. Be sure to click the link below. Check it out. We've got everything that you need over there. We've got you covered for every sport. Thank you so much for the support and good luck on all your action this week. All right. First fight of the night, we've got Maki Pitolo taking on Julian Marquez. And this is a fight that is really, really interesting to me, Matt, because I don't know why, but I have this really weird soft spot for Maki Pitolo. Every time this guy fights, I want to see the coconut bombs. I want to see this man get in there and swing leather and have a crazy war. And I don't know what it is. My gut is always telling me to bet on him, but he's just not a high enough caliber fighter that I shouldn't be putting that kind of money on him week in and week out because he's had a bit of a tough time in the UFC. How do you feel about this matchup?
So there is a proven correlation that, some of these people that study these things have come out and shown that people that have creative nicknames, like in this case, Coconut Bombs or the Alpha Ginger, who just recently got cut, who also have super aggressive fighting styles, fans tend to gravitate toward them. And in this case, Coconut Bombs is exactly what you'd expect from a higher weight Hawaiian fighter. He wants to get in there and bang it out. But really, if not for that one win against Charles Byrd, that one KO win, I don't think we'd be talking about Coconut Bombs at all tonight because I don't think he'd be in the UFC anymore. Because in his other three fights, he was clearly defeated by Darren Stewart, Callan Potter, and Ipa Kasangwe. I'm not sure how good Pitolo is, but on the other side, I don't like betting guys off of long layoffs. And when we talk about creative nicknames, how about Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis, who had that amazing head kick KO of Phil Haas on Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, which basically was maybe the most famous kick in the whole history of Dana White Contender Series, period, and then came in and choked out Darren Stewart, who's a pretty tough guy, before losing that split decision to Alessio De Chirico about 18 months ago. The problem is, what Julian Marquez are we going to get 18 months later? And I do think the margin is a bit wide here. The one thing Pitolo has going for him on his side is activity. I mean, he's been an active guy. He's been fighting a lot lately. You have to like the recent activity. Where I'm thinking that I may lean on this fight is under 1.5 rounds plus 155. Both of these guys are going to come out and trade. I mean, that's just their styles. They get after it. It's the smaller octagon with the 25-footer in Vegas, so that's going to force that engagement between two guys that already want to throw the bleep down. I think Coconut Bomb's only shot in this fight is to get a knockout over a potentially rusty Julian Marquez in the Cuban Missile Crisis, and we know Marquez is a finisher, 6 knockouts and 7 wins. And I think they both have the opportunity to put the lights out with one shot at plus 155. And what we have seen is the percentage of finishes since COVID started, the percentage of finishes in the Apex compared to the percentage of finishes over there on Fight Island is significantly higher. The 25-footer is real in terms of fights getting finished. So look, under 1.5 rounds with a couple of bangers like this at plus 155, I think it's easier than trying to pick a winner.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I was going here as well, which I just want to give a little appreciation to these guys' fight names. We've got Coconut Bombs taking on the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, these guys were made for each other. So I noticed just recently Maki Pitolo has moved out to Extreme Couture. So he's finally training at a big gym. He spent the last 3 months there. He's taken it seriously as opposed to staying, at his home little tiny gym where he's a big fish in a small pond. You love to see when fighters take that step. And I think he's got the raw ability to be a UFC caliber fighter. He just needs the teaching, the coaching, the time. But I don't know if 3 months is enough. And Julian Marquez on the flip side of this thing, that layoff scares the crap out of me. I don't know what kind of condition this guy's coming in. He's not an old fighter by any stretch of the imagination, so I think he'll handle it fine. But this one does guarantee to be fireworks. Julian Marquez has been training at Glory with James Krause, which is one of my favorite fighters and one of the best coaches of all time in MMA, in my opinion. So, yeah. The under is really the only way that I could look here. I left myself a note on my pad here with lots of exclamation points that the under would be the way to play this one, because we might see Maki Pitolo version 2.0, but he is always going to get sucked into a brawl. 3 months of training is not going to change what this kid is in his soul. You know, I think he can knock out just about anybody at 185. He's got that kind of power. He's got that kind of heat on his punches. And Julian Marquez is a guy that brings the fight. And, I mean, his fight name says it all. He just knocks everybody out. This guy's got power in every limb. He can hit you with anything and put you away. So, yeah, I think they're going to stand and bang. This is going to be an early contender. Or not early, sorry, but this is going to be the contender for fight of the night, in my opinion. Probably the contender for knockout of the night as well. And I think the under probably is a good move here.
And I think people overrate the toughness. They think of Pitolo as this tough guy who slugs it out but takes shots well. He's been finished in 5 of his 7 losses. This is a guy that when he loses tends to also get finished. Even more reason why this one may not last long. And you're getting plus 155. I think that's the best bet you could make in this particular fight.
He only looks tough and durable so long as he is winning.
Yes.
So we see eye to eye on that one. I'm kind of rooting for Maki just because I don't want him to lose his job. And like I said, I would love to see him have more time at Extreme Couture and evolve more. And I'm tempted on that dog price because right now Maki Pitolo is sitting. Let me look at this thing. Let me find it here. Plus 150. You can get Maki at plus 150. Minus 170 is just a little too steep for me to lay on Marquez, especially with that layoff, not knowing what kind of shape he's going to come in. I don't expect him to come in bad shape. I don't expect ring rust to be a big thing. He had a fight that was scheduled just a bit ago that fell out. That was part of the reason he's been so delayed coming back. So, yeah, I don't know. I like both guys, and it's going to be sad to see either one of them lose, but I hope at least if one of them does, it's by knockout. So it should be a fun one to watch.
I'm with you.
All right.